Good morning. Right in the middle of my warm-up. Got a little steep little popper here. Need to hike it during the warm-up. 300 feet of climbing in the first mile of warm-up. Almost 400. Anyways, I've got hill repeats today. Yesterday, if you watched, I was out for a nice easy trail run. The day before that was track, so sandwiched an easy day between track, and today will be hard hill repeats. So come along, we're gonna talk some troubleshooting spots for your cadence. I always talk about how important cadence is. We're gonna have a couple questions from YouTubers about cadence, so we're going to troubleshoot some common mistakes that take place. So we'll do that at the top of the hill. All right, just did my first warm-up repeat, and it's warm. It's probably 65, early morning. Not used to it, but I love it. I'll take it. And you can see the wildflowers are popping over here. Beautiful day. Walking descent. These are short, very hard. So I need a lot of recovery, 2 to 3 minutes. So I'll probably walk most of the downhill and then go to a slow jog right before I start again. Got some thunderstorms building already. It's so hot. But good cloud cover right now. It's warm, and so I'm almost halfway. And a couple of videos ago at the track, I mentioned about how important rituals are. And again, just to reinforce that, you know, I'm not looking too far ahead. I'm just focused on this next one, on my recovery going down. I'm thinking just about the next one, what I want to focus on, what maybe I need to work on based on the last one I just did. But then I go into putting my sunglasses down, breathing deep 3 times, blinking my eyes 3 times for my ritual, and then I'm ready to go for the next one. And again, so I'm not thinking too far ahead. And now, as I've kind of really warmed up, I'm almost halfway into my set. I'm starting to look at my heart rate and how quickly it drops. And so I walk until it gets to zone 1 heart rate, and then I start running again. So right now my recovery is really good, feeling really good, and my heart rate's dropping to zone 1 in under a minute. So really good. That easy yesterday really paid off. Okay, so that's how important recovery is to be able to perform the next day. Now I'm halfway. Feeling really good, actually. Even though it's warm, I'm climbing 75 feet in about 300 meters. So these are just about at 90 seconds in length. I'm running at my VO2 max wattage, but like I mentioned, I'm also looking at my heart rate just to gain knowledge. And now I'm in zone 2, so I gotta run. And whenever I'm doing hard efforts like this, I really like to visualize racing or in a goal that I'm wanting to achieve, and just visualize myself racing, achieving, performing how I want to as I'm doing intervals. And it just helps me stay focused, helps me get really motivated to really perform. And just like that, didn't have such a great one. I lost a little focus. I think it was more mental focus, and I was actually starting to think more about doing this video than what I just told you about. So that's a prime example of how well having visualization, having your ritual, and now I'm going to put into play a mantra to keep me focused while I'm running, so my brain doesn't drift to thinking about other things. So right now my mantra for this is going to be This is the strength I want. This is the hard work I want. All right, just like that, back to a really good one, probably my best. So all it takes is reprogramming the mind to catch yourself after a not up to par performance and just get it right back. Don't sulk about it. Just go to your rituals, go to your mantras, snap your brain back into performance mode. And one thing I've noticed also in watching runners, training runners, have runners at my camp, is that when they start to fatigue, runners tend to stop using their arms as well. So notice that when you start to fatigue, go to think about using your arms more to help you. That's one indication, like I mentioned, that I see when fatigue sets in, the arms just stop working. So try that out when you're doing intervals or out and starting to fatigue. Go to thinking about using your arms and see how that helps. All right, 2 more. All right, dos más, 2 more. I always tell athletes, the second to last one's always the hardest because it's not the last one. So always focus on that second to last one because you'll be motivated when it's the last one, wanting to get it over with. So here we go. All right, let's talk cadence. Like I mentioned, I had a question yesterday. The specific question about cadence was, hey, I'm starting to institute the higher cadence that you recommend, meaning me, in the videos. And he mentioned that he was about 30 seconds per mile slower when he had this higher cadence. And we want to attack this from 2 different ways. First one's a simple answer is that this is going to take time. And if you had really low cadence, you become efficient, what I call becoming efficient at being inefficient. Your body got used to doing it one way, even though we want it better, it adapted to that. So it became efficient being inefficient. So as you start to learn something new when regards to run form and neuromuscular change, it's going to take some time and it's going to feel awkward and it's going to feel like it's inefficient. So 1, just be patient with it. Secondly, I think what maybe might be more in play here is that a lot of times when we hear about having high cadence and changing that is our mind goes directly to just lifting the leg faster. Okay, I'm gonna set the camera down and demonstrate this. So what we don't want to do is just lift the leg to have higher cadence. We don't want to just do this, okay? So if that's what's in play here, is that 1, we're teaching our body to lift our leg up. We don't want to train our body to go up and be vertical. We want it to go horizontal or forward. So we want to do 2 things, and I'm doing hill repeats today to provide more force into the ground to improve my speed and power and strength. So we've got to think, drive into the ground. If I drive into the ground and my leg's like this, I want to provide force into the ground to where my leg is almost straight. And then from here, after force is into the ground, I want to bring my leg back. So it's almost pulling the leg through, or you can even think about cycling it through. We don't want to lift. Because again, lifting it, just thinking about lifting the leg is training your body to go up rather than forward. And in thinking that way, we're not thinking about the force that's applied into the ground to generate more power. Force is what dictates our speed. So we need to provide force into the ground as we strike the ground and then get that leg, pull that leg through and land and strike the ground again as quickly as they can. So that's where the quick cadence comes in. but it comes in after providing the force. So all my drills go into helping that transition from striking the ground to applying force quickly and to cycle it back around to land and strike the ground again, where the quick cadence comes in. So to answer this question, and for you maybe you have the same problem of having a hard time gaining speed with a higher cadence, you might be missing the very crucial point of providing force into the ground once you strike the ground to go forward. Push yourself forward, not just lift the legs up and down like a piston. Then your body's just going horizontal. We want to go, vertical. We want to go horizontal. We want to go forward. And that's where hills come in, okay? You're having to run fast. I've said it so many times over the winter when I'm doing short, fast hill repeats, 10, 15 seconds, that's providing force. If I'm doing that really, really hard, there's no way to do it without providing force into the ground. And that's where the training comes in. And that's where all of this comes into play with everything. Okay, you might say, hey, I'm not a racer. I don't need to do hill repeats. Well, maybe you need to do hill repeats to improve your cadence. Maybe you need to do hill repeats to improve force. Okay, there's many ways that all of this that I'm describing to put into play with your training and your running that not only relates to racing and performing, but for longevity and health. Okay, so check this out with your cadence. If you're having trouble, start providing force into the ground and thinking about pushing yourself forward. If you have a hard time getting a feel for that, go to a hill and run uphill with your hands behind your head and feel that force that you naturally have to generate to go into the ground and then cycle your leg through really quickly. That's where the cadence comes in. Because again, speed is your distance per stride and your cadence. We need to mesh the two. And if you're only doing one or the other, everything's going to suffer. Okay, so I hope that helps you answer your question. And if you have furthermore questions on this, send them my way, because this is a really important one. It was a great question, and I think a really, really key one to address. So thanks again, and well, on my last interval, it was starting to rain, and now I've got the sun back, and I'm gonna head home and get a nice recovery run in, and then I'm off to a 40-mile ride with my daughter on the bike. So it's gonna be an awesome day. See you guys next time.